Okay, I'm live. I was just talking and yammering away. I thought I was already live, but anyway, here I am. So sorry for the slight delay, you all, but thank you so much for being here. Happy Friday to you. I'm Garden Living with Cicely, and I'm Cicely, yours truly. So, how was your week? Did you have a great week? I had an absolutely wonderful garden week. I've been getting lots of things done since the last time that we spoke. So last Friday was Halloween, which we didn't have it live. Excuse me, on Halloween. Hey, Michelle, how are you? Thank you so much for being here. So I was just trying to find out like how was the weather? How was your week? So last Friday we had Halloween, and we didn't go live on Halloween. Um, And so my husband, he gave out some candy to the kids, and that was about it. But this week it's been some kind of, roller coaster type weather. But for the most part, it's been really, really nice. Lots of sunshine. I've been able to get different plantings completed. And so that's always exciting. So I know the last time that we spoke, we were supposed to be doing a wreath tutorial tonight. Okay. And my intention was to actually use the zebra grass that I cut down because I'm relocating the zebra grass. So I didn't cut it down. My husband cut it down for me. Thank God for him. So I was planning to use that to make a wreath, but that didn't materialize. So, yes, I'm so glad you got the reminder, Michelle. So, what we will be doing instead, I will be showing you some things that I actually created on my own. And the first thing I want to start off with is I didn't really create it. It's basically that I harvested the lemongrass and then I placed it into this really pretty vase that was thrifted some years back. I hope you can see it good. So I got this vase from a local thrift store. And then this is the dried lemongrass that I showed you last week. So look at how cool that looks, right? And this would be great on a table. You can use it for Thanksgiving, you can use it for fall, or just, something in general. And the thing about the dried lemongrass, it actually smells really, really nicely. So, this is a really great example of how you can grow things in your own garden and save yourself some money because this is actually like decor and it didn't cost anything except for whatever the price of the original plant was. All right. So that's something really, really easy to do. And I absolutely love this. I think this thing was like maybe like $3.50, but it's so pretty. And I really like animal print or anything that like reminds me of Africa. All right, so that's the first thing. Okay, and so the second thing that I actually just made this today is this right here. So it's another plate on like the dried leaves, which I forage these on my morning walks that I do. This is a hydrangea bloom from my garden, and these dry ones are actually from last year. This is a magnolia leaf. So I got this from the magnolia leaves from Trader Joe's, but I hadn't done anything with them, but they were still pretty much, looking pretty healthy and everything. And then this right here is also some olives, from the olive plant. And that's also from Trader Joe's. So all I did was I took this candle container, which is from a candle that I had like, I think last season. But I really always try to buy like decorative calendar candle containers so I can keep them and use them for decor later on. So I get a better bang for my buck. And all I did was purchase one of those, the little floral blocks that you can get from Dollar Tree, or you can get the Oasis if you're actually working with live plants, and you can wet the Oasis and then you can place the live plants in there, and then the water, will be fed through the Oasis. So all I did was get a block, cut it in half or to fit the size of this container. And then I just placed all of my items here. And then this is more of the lemongrass that I used. So, and then right here is the moss. And so this actually came from the Dollar Tree. So let me see if I can tip that a little bit so you can kind of see. Now, I like things that are abstract. I enjoy a play on things. So because it's fall and things are typically, dying off, which I think, Michelle, you're in California, girl. So it may still be like pretty warm where you are and everything may still be looking really green. But I do like the contrast between the dried flowers, the magnolia, which is still pretty shiny, so it hasn't, fully dried off yet. And I forgot about this. I don't know exactly what this is, but it was some greenery that I also got from Trader Joe's. And it's about, I guess, 2 weeks old. So I let it dry out as well. But you have the moss that looks alive and green, contrasting with the different items that are actually dried out, right? So it looks really pretty. It looks fun, right? It's a little bit whimsical, which is also fun. We don't always have to have like these typical FTD or 1-800-Flowers type arrangements. You can create your own thing and feel proud of yourself. I feel proud of myself. So that was the other thing that I had. And then the last one. So I know you weren't here week before last, Michelle, but I had mentioned that another thing that you can do is use any type of glass vase that you have, or like a footed hurricane like this is. So in the bottom is actually corn that I grew this past season. And then this is also some of the corn here as well. So I just place that in there. And then these pumpkins, like this pumpkin, and then these two lighter color ones, I grew those. Yes, I did. So the other pumpkins, I purchased those. So all I did was just place them in this hurricane, and this is more fall decor. So let me see. I love the long grass in the yard. Yes, it is getting chilly. Absolutely. The leaves are real. Do you mean the magnolia leaves? Everything. So basically everything is real in here. It's just that some items have dried. So these are from these were real, but they're dried. Magnolia leaves, they're not quite dried off, but they are real as well. Yeah, the corn is so much fun. So full confession, I did not water the way that I should have. And therefore some of the corn didn't really form properly. But next year going forward, because what I can do, the beautiful thing is all of the corn kernels in the bottom of this. Next year, all I need to do is just pop them in the ground, put some dirt over it, and keep an eye on it. And then I'll have more corn stalks. And I'll show you this one. So this is a corn that I actually grew. And it's so much fun. Like, you really do have like a sense of accomplishment when you grow something like this, because I know at the garden stores, typically, I think you can get like 3 for maybe like $4 or $5 or something. But when you could just grow it in your own backyard or whatever your setup is, it's great and it's fun. And then you really feel like you accomplished something. So why not? So all of these, all of the corn here is actually, pieces that I grew myself. So I do like to try to, show some artistic flair if I can. Yes. Yes, you absolutely can gather leaves. So actually, I've been gathering different leaves on my walks for the past few days. So I wanted to do something kind of like a decoupage, with the Mod Podge. So I need to figure out what I want to put the leaves on. But yeah, creating art is fun. You can create something, you can give it away, or you can just set it up in your own house and just enjoy it. But it is very simple to create decor items from the things that you already have. You do not have to go out every single time to purchase things from big box stores or any of like the specialty craft stores. Just use what you have, okay? Especially in this particular economy. And you know what else? The crazy part is, a lot of this stuff, like the dried items, is super duper expensive. And it's not even like just because now with all of the inflation that we're dealing with, in years past, it's always been like super expensive. And I've never been able to understand that, because ultimately it's only plastic. So I don't know why it costs so much. But anyway, I really love to do that. And then for the holiday, like specifically as we get into winter, I love to create like the garlands with the orange slices. So I definitely will be doing that again. And I think I saw a video, and I know one year I used a blood orange and then just a regular citrus, but the blood orange is a little bit darker and redder, like the flesh is. So it gives you a nice contrast between that and the regular orange. So that's pretty much it for right now. But I'm still enjoying pumpkins. So I'm not one of those people that wants to start decorating with Christmas and holiday items right now. I feel like, fall season should get its due. And so from now until at least Friendsgiving, Thanksgiving, whatever you want to call it, it should be all about pumpkins and leaves and, things like that. So Christmas or whatever holiday you celebrate in the winter will have its time, because really from December until January, typically people keep up their Christmas decor. And sometimes, child, even well into January. But so I don't really understand like the whole craze of everything. Like it's like holiday creep. Okay. So in August, you're starting to get Halloween, and Halloween time, you're actually getting like Christmas decor, which is mind-boggling to me. I don't understand it. I don't get it. So let's see. They don't even look real. The corn. I know, and they are so pretty. And so one set that was of the corn that I purchased. It was really, really big, and it was like different colors, like a really deep burgundy color. So I'm planning to use some of those kernels and plant them for next year. So hopefully I can have my own so I don't have to buy. Let's see, I have redwoods, a drop them in. Oh my gosh. That is something I want to see in person. The redwoods in California. Oh my gosh, that is really definitely on my bucket list. And I don't know, Michelle, have you ever Kenny Loggins? Have you seen the concert of Kenny Loggins in the redwoods? I even have the DVD. Like, it was so good with the music and the trees and nature. That is one of my absolute favorite concerts. I wish I could have been there in person. But if you have not seen that, definitely go on YouTube, Google it. But it was Kenny Loggins. He did a live concert, and he had Shanice, who sang "I Love Your Smile" like back in the 90s. And then he also had the Michael McDonald. Girl, it was so good. It was so good. As a matter of fact, before the live, I was listening to one of the songs from that particular concert, because it's such a great, beat and mellow, and it's nice, and it's just such a great vibe. So let's see, maybe we can. Oh, that would be fun. That would absolutely, yes. Dr. Sashin, we definitely need to put that bug in her ear and hopefully get her to percolate on something, and then we can go out and see the redwoods and the nature and, all the great things. So let's see. And still have out a couple of pumpkins and a fall leaf garland. Oh yeah, that's nice. So I'm not sure if you're on Instagram, but I posted a video on Instagram, which is of my front yard. Finally, I posted it, but it has pumpkins and some celosia, and what else did I have? Oh, of course, chrysanthemums and some cabbages, the ornamental cabbage. So it's always a good time, but I love my pumpkins or squash or whatever you want to call it. But listen, while we are here, I just want to remind you, and especially because you are in California, you can definitely start. Well, if you haven't started growing things, you could definitely start. Probably maybe a few things that are more warm season, as opposed to me here in southeastern Pennsylvania. But so I'm going to be growing more of these mustard greens, which are absolutely delicious. Okay. All you need to do with mustard greens, you can eat them raw in a salad, or you can saute them with onions, a little salt and pepper, and some garlic. Delicious. I can eat them all by myself. But then also I found it's a radish icicle short top, but I selected these seeds because it's only 27 days. So by December, I can have these harvested and everything. But it definitely shows, let me see. Let's see. Okay, so these radishes in California, it looks like you can plant the seeds between September and May. And then with these mustard greens, it says March, August through December. So you still have time. I'm going to plant mine anyway because I want to experiment and see. And I've never grown these these white radishes before. So we'll see how that works out. Oh my gosh, mustard greens. And I really, really love the red mustard greens. Oh my gosh, they are absolutely delicious. So I didn't plant any red mustard greens. I have just a regular, this type of mustard green. I have some of those. So I'm going to be working on that this weekend. Do you have any fun plans for the weekend? I don't think. Oh, I'm supposed to go to a public garden tomorrow and attend a lecture on trees around the world. So that should be a lot of fun. Hopefully I can learn, which I'm pretty sure I'm going to learn like a whole lot. Because I don't really know too much about like trees and everything. Like I'm more into flowers and vegetables and stuff like that. But trees are absolutely amazing. Winter plant we haven't before. We're new to gardening. So yeah, so listen, the best thing that you can do as a new gardener, experiment, right? Don't hold yourself take yourself too seriously. Don't worry about it. Get some dirt, plant the seed. You want to make sure you have ample light, of course. But for the most part, the plants really do figure it out like on their own. Okay, so you don't have to worry about being perfect and comparing your garden to other people's garden. Just start. And I'm telling you, like, honestly, being here in a colder weather climate area, the only thing that really gets me through the winter, even though our winters aren't like super crazy, like we don't have like Chicago winters or Minnesota type winters, but nonetheless, it's still cold. And occasionally we do get snow. But one of the things that truly carries me throughout the season is to just be able, to focus on like, oh, let me plan for next year. This is what I want to grow, and of course I have my house plants. And one thing I do, Michelle, is that the house plants that I have like all winter and early spring, I plant them outside. And because of that, they expand. And then once they expand, then I'm able to get more plants. I can actually share those plants. And that's also a lot of fun. But it gets them out of the house. Okay? It's really good to be outside. I'm not one to have like a ton of house plants. Now, if that's your jam, I'm not judging you, but it's not going to be me. I can count on, I guess, 2 hands, 2 fingers, 10 fingers, maybe. That's how many houseplants I have, if I had to guess. But I've really cut down considerably. And the reason is it takes a lot of work to maintain plants within the house. Otherwise, I like the plants to be outside. They get proper sunlight all the time. They're with their friends. They don't have to worry about me and where I'm at and what I'm doing. And then sometimes it rains, and so I don't have to worry about watering. But when the plants are inside, you really have to keep on top of it. You want to make sure that it has water. Although I will say I have this, what is it? I think it's like a corn plant. I keep saying I'm going to throw it out, but I leave it in the sunroom. So the sunroom, which I also call my plant studio, it has heat in it, but usually I just let the plant, like in the winter, I'll allow the sun to help, keep it heated. But I usually turn on the heat for a split second to knock the chill off and then let the sun do the remaining, like warming up, if you will. But with that, when I tell you the plants that are out there, 20, 30 degree weather, they just be outside, meaning in the sunroom. So they survive. And, in this wintertime, you don't really have to water the plants as much because it's not hot all the time and the days are shorter. So that works out. And I'm like, well, if it continues to survive, then maybe I should just leave it. But, so it's that plant. And then I have this other plant. I can't remember the name. And when I look at plants, like in the store, I usually look at it for its fullness and how pretty it is and if it's different. But I can't remember this plant name. But I don't like it anymore. Once I got it home, I was like, I don't know about that. So let's see. I'm not a houseplant person. I like it cold. I know I'm not that much of a houseplant person, but I do like to have like one or two here and there. And this year I got some more palms. So I did bring those in, which I don't think they're liking being inside that much. So we'll see what happens. Well, either way, they're going to be inside. And then I have 2 hibiscus trees that I need to bring inside as well. And they are pretty large, which I'm not quite sure where I'm going to put them, but I'll figure something out. Let me see. So, okay, Queen cover band. That should be fun. That should be absolute fun. You know, sometimes I get in these like music moods and I like to listen to the Bee Gees. I absolutely love, love, love the Bee Gees. So I like to listen to them. And usually I'm all over the place. Like, you know, I listen to some R&B, a little bit of 90s, you know, some Babyface, just, you know, kind of all over. But yeah, that should be a lot of fun. Let's see. Do you know if sunflowers are hard to grow? Sunflowers are not hard to grow at all. They can really tolerate any type of soil. They definitely need at least 6 hours of full sun or more. Although I will say right now, I have, I wish I had a picture, but I have a Mexican sunflower, also known as Tithonia. And they take so long. Like when you grow from seed, they take so long to germinate and to grow. But right now, even in the midst, I mean, it's November the 7th, and I still have some of these coming like fast and furious. And as a matter of fact, earlier this afternoon, so there's one that I have that was in the area of my tomato garden. It got so large and it's like blown over. And I really probably should just take it out, but it's still thriving for the most part. I mean, some of the buds have like dried off, but it's really, really pretty. But the Mexican sunflower is different than your traditional one because the leaves and the stems are much more delicate. But those typically take far longer, in my experience, to germinate than the other ones. So in my neck of the woods around February, when I'm having cabin fever and I'm sick of the cold, I want to be outside. For my own mental health, I actually just go and sprinkle a whole bunch of sunflower seeds, right? So that'll help give like a head start on the season. But let me tell you a quick story. So you talked about the big ones, also known as the mammoth sunflowers. So I planted those seeds in several areas. And in my the far back corner of the yard, I planted several of the mammoth sunflower seeds. Okay. And so those are the ones that have like the really, really big, massive heads. And I planted one actually germinated. It grew pretty large, but the head was just like drooped over. And I remember one day during the summer, I said, "Oh, let me go and check on my mammoth sunflower." And it had all the seeds, and I was so excited. And then I was like, "Okay, well, all right, I'll come back later." Tell me why. A few days later, maybe like 3 days later, I said, "Okay, I feel like harvesting. Let me go and cut it out and all the things." There was no seeds left in the head because the squirrels ate all of my mammoth sunflower seeds. I was so sad. You know what I did? So when I went and I raised up the head and I looked at it, and I only saw maybe like 2 or 3 seeds in the center, I just walked away and said, I'm not even going to worry about it. But I could not believe that that's what happened. So if the spirit moves you to go ahead and do something, then go ahead and do it at that moment. Do not wait, because I totally like lost out on that. But my hope is, you know how sometimes, have you heard of like volunteer seeds? So that's where something will pop up that you know you didn't plant there. So hopefully there was some spillage into the soil, and next year the mammoth sunflower seeds will pop up. Because these squirrels, like, they are terrible. So let's see. I got a lot of wind, so those might be too delicate. Yeah, well, to your point, like we've been having like wind advisories a lot lately, and they will. So let me just say, make sure that you plant the seed deep enough, because if you don't, then the stem will be like in too shallow of ground, and it will be easily for it to blow over. So you definitely want to make sure that you plant them deep. But I would just say plant it and just, see what happens. And then next year, you could always course correct and try something different. Let's see. Yeah, squirrels are very tenacious. One year I made a pumpkin decoration like the pumpkins like this size, like these size pumpkins. And one day I was just out and about, just checking out the yard, and there were like teeth prints all in the pumpkins. And I couldn't believe it. But I said, okay, fine, whatever. I have to coexist with you crazy squirrels, and like I won't hold it against you. Just be happy with your life, and bye-bye. So let's see. Yes, I love the Bee Gees. And if you're into country music, what's his name? Barry Gibb. He did a country album back in, I think it was maybe 2020 or 2021, but he did a country album, and he also he did some of the greatest hits in like the country genre. So that was pretty neat too. Oh, if you do like the Bee Gees, definitely check out How to Mend a Broken Heart. So it was a documentary that was on HBO Max. And so it tells like the whole entire story of the Bee Gees and like all the people that they used to write for, like Dionne Warwick. And it was just really, really a very exciting, documentary. And so now when I listen to songs by the Bee Gees and I reference the documentary, and, it's just like the whole artistic makeup of everything. And because I love that, like I consider myself a creative. And so I also love to know like what is the creative bent that certain artists have. So yeah, you should definitely like check that out. All right. Well, I thank you so much for popping in on this Friday evening, Friday afternoon, and hanging out with me for a little bit. And I am going to wrap it up here. So hopefully you can join me next week. So I think that I'm going to continue the cozy season Friday Night Live, but maybe I'll change it up, maybe a Friday or a Saturday. But yeah, just a little something to do to hang out and decompress. So after you do tea time on Tuesdays with Dr. Sasheen, then you can hang out with me on Friday or Saturday night. Okay. All right. So I hope you have a great night and a great weekend. And if there's anything that I missed or something that you want to see me cover the next time, then just please drop down in the comments and be sure to like and share. And I'm pretty sure you already subscribed, but if you think this live or any other content on my channel will be helpful to someone that you know, please send me their way, and hopefully we can make new friends and be all together. All right, take care. Bye.